Right.
But here you want.
All right, let's call the meeting to order. It is 6:30. We're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance and our prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Jeff, you want to say our prayer?
Father, we love you, and we thank you that we're here and we're gathered in one mind and one accord. We thank you that you brought us here safely. Lord, those that are traveling, not able to be here with us, watch over them, bring them home safely. Let them have a great, wonderful season with family. We thank you, Lord, that you are the reason for the season. We don't ever want to be bashful to say Merry Christmas and that Jesus is the reason. Ask you to just keep your hand over us this evening and help us all to express our opinions, our desires, and do the work of the city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Let's do roll call.
Stephanie Kramer, Ward 3. Two.
Ward 3.
Sherry Mitchell, Mayor.
Roger Manette, Ward 1.
Jeff Thibodeau, Ward 3.
Let the record show that Lonnie Clayton is absent today, and also Bud Mirandino. Any conflict of interest statements? All right, let's move on to citizens' comments. Joe, if you'd like to address council.
Yeah, Mayor, we have the privilege of having previous Republican president for Jefferson County, now the candidate for JP.
Different parts of town.
Excellent.
Thank y'all very much for the opportunity to address you, Mayor and Council. My name is Joe Evans, and of course, like just said, I was the recently former chairman of the Jefferson County Republican Party. I also serve on the Beaumont ISD School Board for however long they will keep us. They should probably encourage me to get the show on the road, see the new board and get that done. But that's a different spiel. But anyway, thank y'all for being here. I'm running for justice of the peace also. This is the first leg for me. I don't have a primary opponent. Judge Collins does have a primary opponent. So I'll face the winner of that election in November. But I do want to make a big time effort to come spend some time with you guys, just so we aren't new to each other as we approach the campaign season. When you look at the numbers in the JP court, probably 1 or 2% of the cases come from this area. And most of those are traffic violations. But you still need to know what's going on in that court. Your taxpayer dollars do fund that court. It's the people's court. I think I've shown myself to be a man of the people, whether it be through my service as a chairman or on the school board or the multiple nonprofits that I work for. I do work for juveniles, so I spend a lot of time in the family court system and the juvenile justice system. So I'm acclimated to the court system. I understand the role. I'll never be disparaging to the person I'm running against, but I will say that I do bring some innovation to that seat that I plan on rolling out as the campaign develops. And it's all about getting better. You never stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. Sometimes we get stagnant. So thank y'all for having me. Look forward to spending more time with you. I'll be seeing you a lot over the next year. So thank you, and keep up the good work out here in Bell Oaks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next item on the agenda is a presentation by Verkada.
Everyone, my name is Matt Benton. I represent Solid IT Networks, representing a camera solution for your pump stations in 4 different locations. It's just our recording. Yep. So there'll be 4 different locations. 2 of them will have what we call multi-sensor camera, 4 different camera lenses, kind of covering 360-degree view, so you can tell who's coming and going. The other 2 locations will just have a dual camera set up, so you've got 2 different directions you can point there. Make sure you can see who's coming and going through the water pumps if anybody's out there working on them, things like that. They'll all be supported by cellular gateways where you'll bring your own SIM card just like you have with other cameras in the past, and we'll get that basically installed for you. It comes with 10 years of hardware and software support on those devices, so if anything goes down over the next decade, you'll be covered. And I would just open it up to any questions there. I think a lot of you guys have seen, the proposal. We've kind of gone through that. So want to be here to answer any questions you might have or clarify any concerns.
The 10-year plan is, just to verify what I thought you said, comes with a 10-year warranty.
That's
Is
correct.
that correct? Is that on labor and material, or just the?
On the product itself, so the way you would look at it, so the installation is supported for a year. So if anything were to go wrong with like a wire or something like that, that's covered for 1 year. You typically would see any sort of installation issues in the first month, but we go ahead and support that for 12 months just in case anything happens. The actual devices themselves, that physical hardware is supported for 10 years by the manufacturer, and the software that is supporting that device is also protected for 10 years. And then during that 10-year time, they actually will push updates and new capabilities to the cameras. So these devices can do things like facial recognition or characteristic search. Like if you want to see, hey, show me all the red trucks that drove by this camera, you can actually search like that. Every quarter, they're going to push out new features and new capabilities. So what they do today is kind of the worst they'll ever be. Over that 10-year life cycle, you'll get new features and new capabilities. That's part of the support.
Well, now, is that going to cost us an upgrade to obtain those procedures, or are you just going to keep the equipment current as new technology
Right.
comes along?
Yeah, so basically the way that works is you get the updates get pushed out to the device as part of the partnership. So there's no additional cost. There's no cost for any capabilities. There's no a la carte capabilities. So if you're a camera customer of Verkada, you get all the capabilities. And as new capabilities come out, they push them out to your device. Now you could be in year 7 and they could push out a capability that your camera doesn't support because of the age of the technology. They're not going to replace that camera proactively. But let's say a camera were to fail in year 8 or year 9, they will replace it with the latest model. They're not going to replace it with the current.
And that labor to replace those cameras is included in the warranty for if the camera were to fail?
So that would be a service contract. That would basically be like an annual service contract. So you would have your maintenance teams here kind
Okay.
of support the cameras day to day. What I can say, personally, is that as a local resource representing ProTech Structured Cabling, we're always going to want to come help you guys out. We're real big on serving our local community. We service the cameras over at Little Woodrow's that Albanese and Cormier purchased, and they don't have a service contract with us per se, but because we are just down the street, when they need stuff, we like to come out and try to help. But if it was something extensive, we would probably charge for like a service visit, or it would be something that would probably fall to Charlie or someone in the maintenance department to maintain day to day.
Because I work in electronics, I know that things don't last 10 years typically, but I'm not familiar with cameras.
Sure.
And things go obsolete and so forth, and they have to replace a lot. So I know that with a 10-year warranty, but you said proactively they're not going to replace the camera. So,
Yeah, so these cameras are rated for 20 years.
okay,
That's-
20 years?
That's from the manufacturer.
Okay.
They have a 20-year life cycle. Typically, you're not going to keep them for 20 years.
Right.
You're going to be covered for 10. So normal technology life cycle's 5 to 7 years for most technology. And so what's nice is you're protected through 10.
Okay,
So when you get to that 10-year mark, you're probably going to be looking at new devices at that time.
okay.
You mentioned the cellular SIMS cards.
Yes, sir.
Is that included, the monthly sell fee, is that included in your contract?
So those are not included because as a city, you'll get a much lower cost for monthly. Like the way that Verkada would sell the data plan would be as if you were, a corporation essentially. And theirs is about, somewhere between $60, $80 a month per camera feed, which you guys will have 12 camera feeds. So that's not going to be cost effective, and that's not included in the proposal. What you guys would do is the same SIM card you've been using with some of your previous cameras. I think you're paying roughly $15 a month per SIM card. You would just need 2 SIMs to support this. One per gateway.
One per gateway?
That's right.
Not per camera? but
Not per
gateway.
camera, one per gateway.
So that's going to cost us per month, or per year, whatever that frequency is. In other words, I'm sitting here looking at your price that we've got, and we don't have the other presentation that we've actually evaluated. But what I recall, that installation cost was significantly less than your cost. But there is a monthly maintenance fees going along with that. So the effectiveness and use of your equipment, the service that you can provide, and whatever that ongoing additional costs are, in addition to the initial installation, are gonna be what's gonna make that decision for us.
Yeah, so
So
just,
I got a little confused because my original thought coming in here was there was going to be no monthly charges to us.
yeah.
If we went for cost,
Yeah, so I can clarify that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically, what you're using for internet for these cameras is a cellular network, just like your cell phone. And just like all of our cell phones have a SIM card in them that requires a monthly charge, that's external to the solution. So you guys are using SIM cards in a lot of different
T-Mobile.
technologies.
So that cost would be no additional cost to what we're seeing right now? Is that what I'm hearing?
Right, that's something you're already consuming with other products. You would just use existing SIM cards in here to provide the network. So basically paying AT&T or paying Verizon. I believe you guys pay T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
So you just need to populate one of your T-Mobile SIM cards in the devices that we're selling so that they can get internet from those
Yeah,
towers.
you're kind of over my head with
Sorry,
that.
sorry.
No,
I'm trying
that's
to keep
all
it
right.
simple.
You don't have to go very far. I
So
mean,
basically,
pretty shallow
you're
water.
all in for 10 years, no hidden costs, no additional fees. The one cost that we'll carry monthly is the carrier cost to T-Mobile, which is about $15 per month.
Which is something
Per
we've got
camera.
now.
Which some of you guys are already
Well,
doing.
The other thing, that let me get
Per
clear
gateway.
too, on
Per
the service
gateway.
charge, we have a camera that's not working. I call you, you've got a service rep in the area that can come out with a reasonable time and,
Yes, sir. Our business is headquartered in Sour Lake.
okay, so now, the other thing, you said the equipment has got a factory warranty, but there could be a service charge,
Yeah, where that would come into play, so I'll walk you through like a scenario where a camera goes down.
okay?
So camera goes down, you see through the app or through your computer that the camera's offline. You know, just use Charlie as an example because he does a lot of the maintenance. So you call Charlie, hey, can you go look at that camera? He would go check on the camera, open up a trouble ticket with the manufacturer. They would essentially troubleshoot together. Hey, can you unplug it, plug it back in, right? The normal sort of troubleshooting steps, and they could verify either the camera is broken or, hey, it's not the camera, it's something to do with the installation. If it's something to do with the installation, you would call me, we would come out, we'd fix that as part of the agreement. If it was the camera, Bricata, the manufacturer, will overnight the new device. Charlie would take that, undo 3 screws, put up the new camera, send back the old one. You don't have to call us on that. If you didn't want to change it yourself, that's where you could call us and we could come do that for you, and it would just be a truck charge to come out because we're not.
So what's that charge? That's,
I mean,
Without a
honestly,
service contract?
Yeah, it would be an out-of-service contract charge, but we're local, so we would either try not to charge or it'd be a couple $100 just to cover the cost of us coming out, but we wouldn't charge like if we were driving to Houston or something.
And if we had an annual service contract, what would that look like?
I'd have to look at that.
Okay.
It would be very infrequent, I think, that you guys would be reaching
Okay.
out. We could negotiate a service contract, but I think it would actually be probably more cost advantage for you guys to just call if needed
Okay.
and kind of take that as a one-off. But we could certainly look at a service contract. I just don't know that it's necessary for this system.
And that's from day one, week one, month one, when we would need a service contract after the initial period expires? What is that initial period, or is that from day one?
Yeah, so the installation is being supported for 12 months, meaning, hey, if something goes wrong with the install in the first 12 months, we'll come fix it.
Okay.
After that, you know, the installer kind of says, hey, we've done our part, we back away, the cameras have been up and running, everybody's happy. Cameras will fail over time, it happens, right? So when a camera fails, where a service contract would come in and say, we don't want to touch it, we just want to call somebody to come out, do the RMA, do the exchange, change it. That's where it would either be an individual charge each time that happens or a service contract, but that hasn't been discussed or negotiated. I've been working with this product for about 4 years now, and what most clients do, I work with a lot of school districts, large school districts, is, you know, if a camera goes down, they troubleshoot it with the manufacturer themselves just to avoid any cost. And assuming it's not something that requires a lift or some sort of equipment to access the camera, you know, you can get on a ladder, 3 little set screws, you take it off, put the new one up, plug it into the Ethernet cable. It's very simple to do the exchange. So what I would encourage you guys to do is to service the environment over time yourselves. And if you get in a pinch or if it's something that's more complicated, call for help. But I wouldn't recommend spending any additional funds on a service contract. I think that would be a waste of your money.
but you basically have local servicemen that could come help us if somebody decides to go fishing or something.
Yeah. So Protex Structured Cabling is the company that's doing the installation. They're headquartered out of Sour Lake, local company.
Yeah, you're a contractor?
Yes, sir. I'm actually part owner in that business. So I speak for them when I say, yeah, we'll support you guys over time.
Where else do y'all have your equipment?
Yeah, so we work, well, in Beaumont, we have some cameras up at Little Woodrow's, but we just did 6 school district campuses for South San Antonio ISD. We're deploying for Shaw Group here in Beaumont. They're working on that 70-acre property when you're heading out to Louisiana on I-10, right there on the Natchez. That's being revamped to come, under Shaw Group. We're doing all their cabling out there for cameras, access control, and their data closets. And then we work in Dallas, we work in San Antonio. We work all over the state.
And storage, are the clips stored locally or on the cloud or what?
That's a great question. So one of the main differentiators about this manufacturer in Verkada is that they have taken, a much more modern approach to building the device. So all of the storage that's needed for the camera to record 24/7 is being stored on the camera itself. So it can store the models you're looking at have 30-day retention built into the device. So you literally take it out of the box, plug it into power over Ethernet. That's how it does power and data. When you mount it, it records 24/7.
At what resolution?
These are 5-megapixel cameras, so essentially 2K. And they record 24/7. All they need to record is power. So as an example, the Riverbend pump station, the SIM card got turned off during the trial by the manufacturer because they pay for that data. So when it hit 30 days, they turned it off. But the camera was still getting power. I called them and said, hey, can you turn that trial back on because we're going to go have a board meeting and someone may want to look at it. Can you turn the SIM card back on? And they said, yeah, sure. They reactivated the SIM card. All of the footage for the 7 days that it was without network is in the camera.
Okay.
So about how far back could you store?
30 days.
30 days.
Yeah, these cameras have 30, but the manufacturer makes cameras that go up to 365-day retention.
Oh,
So
wow.
the ones we're
That's a
looking
big
at is
memory.
30 days?
Yes, sir. And then the follow-on to that is there is a relationship to the cloud, right? So it's an on-prem storage solution. The data's in the camera on-prem. It's not streaming up to the cloud constantly. It stays on the device. If you request it remotely, right, you can get that through the cloud. If you create a clip, that clip gets stored initially in the cloud and it will live there forever. So you have unlimited clip storage per camera per day. Up to 24 hours of footage per camera per day can be clipped and stored in the cloud. And then if you say, hey, this is some sensitive footage, we don't want it in Amazon, you can take it down as an MP4 and you can put it on a thumb drive.
So that's the servers it's on, the Amazon servers?
It's all on Amazon.
Yeah.
Everything all the cloud relationship is running an Amazon Web
Yeah.
Service.
Okay.
And you're really getting 4 pieces with the cloud: remote access, remote management, a place to store clips, and you also have full copy backup for 30 days. So let's say another hurricane is coming and you guys are worried that the cameras might get washed out. You can actually back every one of them up for the full 30 days to the cloud. So you can take all the footage on the camera, copy it up to the cloud. If they get wiped out, you replace those cameras, you can pull that footage back down. You wouldn't lose it.
Do you have a way to stream that to that TV?
To get onto that TV, I would basically be on a laptop that can cast to that screen.
So your
But I
phone
have it
can't
on my
cast to
phone
it?
if you want to,
You could probably cast it from your phone, eh?
if I can get on the network and see
Yeah.
it. Yeah. What's your?
Do we have time for this?
Well, I don't know. Let me walk by with the app because I don't know if I can cast the feed. Like I can a TV show.
Yeah.
We've been looking at it in Sabrina's office.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you had a chance
Just
to see?
I have not.
Charlie, you've got it on your phone.
So
don't you?
Yeah.
basically, like you have
Yeah, Charlie showed it to me
He's
earlier
sharing it.
today.
access control, alarms, intercom. So here's your gateway.
We caught
You'll be
several
able to see
speeders.
those. And
You're in a really hole over
so
here.
you'll see both. You'll see what carrier they're tapping onto right now.
AT&T?
And that's because Verkada's SIM card uses all 3 carriers. So right now, AT&T is the strongest signal they can reach. You can
Okay.
see where they're located.
So it rotates with the
So when we're on
strongest signal?
T-Mobile though.
With
it's like in
Verkada's
the
SIM
crap.
card, but you guys are T-Mobile on your SIM card, so you'll always use
Well,
T-Mobile.
that's me too.
This shows the uptime and downtime. You can actually power cycle the devices that are connected here,
Remotely?
which is nice because if you're troubleshooting and you're not here, you can remotely power cycle. And then you come back in here, you click on cameras. Now you can see where the cameras are. If you click into any one of these, you can search by people, vehicle, see who's coming and going. It'll track like who's here. I would do training, and And I'd
I
do a
do-
training for you guys if you.
I do have another question. So you mentioned that the SIM card is currently on AT&T because that's the strongest signal. But when we switch to the T-Mobile SIM card, is that going to create a problem?
I've seen it go back and forth.
Okay.
And we actually used y'all's SIM card on the back one at the water treatment. We were using y'all's SIM card there.
And it works fine? Okay.
But it's usually primarily on T-Mobile, and then it bounces to AT&T.
Okay.
So it's just looking for the strongest signal right now. But when you guys go, it'll be all T-Mobile, but we've seen it work on T-Mobile for the last month.
Okay.
Cost question, I think I understand your 3, 5, and 10-year estimates. The other question, this other quote we've got here, you're probably not seeing what I'm looking at, but.
I think I have it as well.
The Protex.
Yes, sir, that's the installation.
Yeah, that's the installation. Now, all we've done now is we've just tested the 2 locations, and we're looking at, this bid is for 4 locations, right? That's for both our lift stations, the water plant, and the sewer plant, right?
Yes, sir.
And if we wanted to expand to here and to the park, we could do that, just time and money, right?
Yes, sir. And that's one of the nice things about the architecture, how these devices have all of the components they need to support the device is actually built into the camera. So traditional camera systems, you'll have a box that goes in a closet somewhere, and then you put your cameras out, and they have to all send data back. So there's a sizing consideration that happens. You know, this box can support 16 cameras. If you don't buy 16, you're overpaying for storage. If you buy, you know, with Verkada, each device supports itself fully. So with one camera, you're a fully functioning Verkada customer, or with 1,000 cameras. And you could scale as granular as you need. So if you guys said, hey, next month we want to put up 1 more camera, and then next year we want to do 2 more, and then 1 year we want to do 20 cameras, you can scale however you like. And this company also, just not to get off topic, they also do access control, video doorbells, alarm systems, and it's all integrated by the same manufacturer. It all comes in the same console. So if you guys had doors that you wanted to access control, like you have a keypad on this, you know, the same manufacturer can actually access control that door. And
It's Z-Wave. Can we integrate to yours?
so that won't, but what they'll do with, like Verkada would replace that reader with a Verkada reader, and then what that allows would be like if
It's
you
no
had-
reader. There's no reader there.
That's just a keypad.
Just a keypad
Yeah, they
on
have the
Z-Wave.
They have a keypad, but their keypad has an integrated badge reader, so you could use a fob or something, but you'd get your keypad functionality.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying there is if you were to access control a couple doors on this building and you had Verkada cameras, you can link the footage from the camera to the door. So if you get a Charlie Kramer entered the door at 3:30 in the morning, you can actually look and see all the corresponding video footage with that event.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of this company, to
Yeah.
build a native integrated tool set.
Yeah.
Is they, you know, the problem in physical security today as it's become more digital is they're all siloed, digital silos. And, you know, if you get a weird badge event, you got to go log into your camera system. It's a separate system. You got to go hunt
Yep.
down the footage.
That's where we are now. We get notification when the door's left unlocked or left open.
Yeah, door held open. stuff
And then
like
you've
that.
got to go through and decide if there's enough
So you
interest
get a
in
door
it.
held open event in Verkada, it's going to link, it's going to send that to your phone with the corresponding video that plays
Yeah.
back at the time the door was held open.
What do you have for gate access?
They do LPR gate unlock. They can, I mean, the gate motor would be like a LiftMaster or something like that.
Okay. We'd
But they
have
would
to have
just,
that
they would just
installed.
access control that motor.
I
And then
see.
their cameras can do license plate reading as a credential.
Yep.
So you could use an LPR camera to say all of your license plates are good. So if you pull in front of that camera and it sees your plate, it goes ahead and opens the gate.
Okay.
And
So would that work with any of the gate opening systems?
any
or-
gate motor. Yeah, it's just a
Okay.
relay. You're just
Yeah, it's a
basically
relay on
connected
it,
to
yeah.
a relay on the motor. So right now we're doing 700 users at Harris County Appraisal District on a 3-story parking garage, in and out every day. There's 700 users coming in and out. Badge in, badge out. All of it's done by Verkada LPR gate unlock.
I'm not sure if you've got enough bandwidth to control us. No,
Well, and I
I'm
don't
just
mean
kidding.
to like dive
Just
off
kidding.
down a rabbit hole either. but
Because
it's
this
a
guy
really-
goes in and out of the gates all the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
last question. Is
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
quote based off of the 2 that you've installed, or is it off of 4 that we were wanting to do?
This is for the 4 new ones. What
Okay.
we would do is we would come in and uninstall the 2 that have been put in today,
Okay.
because those are trial equipment, and the way Verkada sends out trial equipment is it's refurbished gear. I know that because I worked for the manufacturer for 3 years. So a lot of times they'll say, hey, let's just convert your trial to an order. I would always encourage customers to send back the trial because those are refurbished devices. You want brand new devices.
Right. Absolutely.
So we're going to take down the 2 that are already
Okay.
up, send those back for you, and then you'll buy 4 new, and we'll put them all up with conduit and water, seal them out, and boxes around the electrical.
I got one more question on the installation.
Yes, sir.
This is for the 4 locations, correct?
Yes, sir.
I have a little problem with the $1,000 for travel. I've never seen a.
It's for room and
Paid you to
board.
Travel, that to me is part of your cost of doing business. That ought to be built into your bid.
It can't, I mean, we try to be transparent about where the costs are
I
coming.
know, but I don't like it.
That's fine, I can take it out and put it somewhere else if you like. but- No, I understand. We go back and forth, you know, it would
It's
be
a
something.
shill, Jim.
It would be, it's something that could be hidden, but, you know, I feel like.
So we're setting up a cop back here for you guys?
Exactly, yeah. No, that's just for like a hotel stay for 2 technicians for a couple nights.
And I thought they lived in Sour Lake.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, we're headquartered in Sour Lake. We have technicians all around the state, but the technicians that will be doing the install actually don't live in Beaumont.
I live with Charlie, go duck
Well,
on.
I got an extra bedroom for rent.
Yeah.
Get some of that money back.
Well, and the one thing I would call out on this quote right here is that we've estimated the material cost. If we come in under that, we're not gonna bill you for that. That's a do not exceed number on material. So when we get out there and run the conduit and stuff, if it comes out to be less than that, we're not gonna bill you for the full material.
And this is all, it's gonna be weather tight, running conduit, it's gonna be up to whatever the electrical standards are.
The handoff to us, we take it at the electrical box, like at the outlet. So what we've requested is, and we can provide the box, but what we've requested, it doesn't have to be a locking box, but a weather-tight box. We want the electrical outlet in that weather-tight box.
So we had to provide an accessible,
Plug.
you want an outlet and not a hardwire connection?
An outlet, as long as it's in a weather-tight box, which we can provide that box. But there's other equipment that might need to go in that box to protect it. Again, it doesn't need to be locked out, so if someone needs to come and access that plug, it's just unlatch and open. But what we like to do, because you can't run conduit into an electrical plug box, you know what I mean? We like to put the plug in a weather-tight box, and then we can run conduit into that out to the camera. So everything's in conduit from end to end, and then the outlet's protected from any moisture coming in where it plugs in.
Recommend a UPS system on that as well.
It wouldn't be like a UPS per se, but if you have generators backing up those plugs, that would probably be the for these
I was
locations.
thinking about for spike arrests and all.
Oh, no, it's not recommended
Really?
to put like a little UPS in the box to just for power surges.
Serving everything downstream of it.
It's not recommended by the manufacturer. I understand that, you know, their equipment might get fried, but they would replace it. They don't have as like a recommendation, hey, you need to put a surge protector.
So it's not like it's disallowed. It's
No,
just.
you could do it. It's just not.
Okay,
It's not.
okay.
It's not
When you said not recommended, it's just, okay.
Yeah. They don't say, hey, make sure you do this, or you like void your warranty or something, right? Like if it's just plugged in directly to the outlet and it gets a surge and it fries the gateway, they'll replace the gateway.
Okay. You have an average boot time from loss of power to return?
It takes about 10 minutes.
Okay. That would be the reason for the UPS.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Now, if it loses network and has power, it'll keep recording even during like you'll lose access if you lose network to see the camera.
Yeah, but you'll
Once
still
you come back, it's there. But if it does lose power,
keep it
it
on
will
the
stop
desk. Yeah.
recording.
There again, there's the reason I would say UPS for it.
So there's no UPSs included in this, but we could easily put one in that weather-tight box if you guys wanted to add something like that.
Weather for lightning.
Natural
Yeah.
disaster, like if a hurricane hits the cameras and wipes them out, they wouldn't replace that. It's a natural disaster is not going to cover.
Sure.
Can't be covered by that.
That's pretty common.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much for letting me come in tonight.
Thank
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
I'll get out of your hair and let y'all finish up your meeting. Thank you. Good to meet you, sir. Good luck with everything.
All right, next item up on the agenda is review approved consent items. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
A second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item up for review approval, action item, consideration, discussion, and approval for the camera system for the City and Public Works facility. Can I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Yep. And a second?
I'll second.
Any
Who was that,
discussion?
Who was the second? Jim.
Jim.
Okay, Jim. Okay, sorry.
Second.
Any discussion?
Well, the only other thing we looked at was the Starlink system, and we didn't really get, unless Jeff's got something he can share with us, we really don't have a hard number to compare. I know Sabrina was doing some numbers because of what the monthly costs are for the links. And being transparent, it's a cheaper system. I say cheaper, that's probably a poor word to use, but it's a less expensive system than this is. What I saw with the two systems is that if I make my decision purely on cost, I'm going to miss a lot of things that I think that he is really bringing to the table with the quality of this whole stuff. One of the things that I kind of like, when you have people out there, it actually shows their track of direction. In other words, if you see somebody standing by one of our platforms, you can see where they came from. I don't think this was designed to pick up license plate numbers, but some of the stuff was pretty clear. And one of the advantages, which any camera would have down at the lift station on River Bend, is not just for security of our equipment, but it's also for traffic control. We've had some dumping issues down there, and a few other things, so it could be helpful there. And you see what's going on in the world right now, so moving to a good security system, I think is a good thing. And I think probably at some point in time we need to think about expanding, to cover more of all our stuff. But anyway, the effectiveness and use of what I was pounding on the service, their service looks like it's pretty good. I feel pretty good about this outfit. And I'm also, if you look at the proposals for 3, 5, and 10 years, if you look at it in terms of dividing it by the number of years, the 10 years is the best option financially. Now, the downside is this is upfront money that we'd be paying upfront, which we have, and we're financially in pretty good shape to be able to afford that. So my recommendation is that we accept this Mercator proposal. We may have a few fine things we want to tune out,
Well, I like the fact what Charlie was showing me today, where he was able to put in a color of a vehicle, and it would backtrack and show you those particular vehicles coming down. That was the color, and as it was coming, you could freeze frame it. You could see the license plate.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my comment.
We would have been able to catch that camper that was stolen.
Any more discussion?
My biggest concern is the overall cost. And I'm totally fine with however people vote. It just seems like it's a big expense right up front. And I know we're in a good spot. It seems like everything, though, boils down to most of the decisions we make is the cost of it. It wasn't budgeted this year, or it wasn't budgeted for this current budget. So if I had that recommendation, I would say let's go with what we know and use what we have, work it into the budget. But again, I am okay with whatever the council decides. As for the Starlink, I'm not sure where the billing is because I don't take care of that. But I believe the Starlink package that she has signed us up for is the lowest bandwidth, and has been sufficient to show us the cameras, and it's only like $40 a month, which is the only recurring cost. The cost Starlink.
That was I don't know, I wish she was here to share those numbers, because for some reason or other I had the cost idea of equivalent matching system, 4 locations, that it was more like $2,000, $2,300 a year.
Then
For
do we
all
need to-
4 locations.
Do we need to table this maybe until we get those numbers?
I
so
think
that we
there's
could-
more to discuss.
I think so too. I mean,
We could do the thing
Maybe-
like we did with the vehicles and assign it to a subcommittee, so we don't have to wait a whole nother month.
right.
And just have some people look into it.
What about,
Then we have to schedule a special meeting.
to finalize it?
No, we didn't have to do a special meeting for the vehicles.
That was in the budget already, I think, though.
Yeah, that was in the budget.
This has
This
it. I
is
think
not.
this would have
So
to,
we
yeah.
have
Well,
to do a
this is
special
also, this is capital expense, I would think, not
Well, so is the-
cost expense coming out of off of the P and L sheet.
So each individual system integrates into what we have here and what we have at City Hall and now at the waste treatment plant. They're all the same brand, and we have extra cameras for each one, because when we buy the setup, we buy the disc, the recorder and 8 or 10 cameras. So as they go out, you have a no cost at all to replace the cameras. They are POE, so it's just like his were there. And I'm not trying to sell anything, believe me.
Well, let me ask you one thing, and this
Yeah.
is kind of where I was getting to him about his service. With that system, and one of the, when you don't have a full presentation of both systems, it's hard to really get an idea. But one of the things that I concluded was, they don't have a rep, there's not a service rep I can pick up the phone and call and say, this camera is not working. I need somebody out here next day or two. That's an effectiveness in use, which is part of my decision-making process.
Well, and the
There's
storage.
value in that as opposed to what the total costs are.
Okay.
So you're looking at $36,000, so you're looking at $3,600 a year, you're looking at $300 a month.
Yeah.
With the Mercado system.
That's money well spent.
And if,
I like the 30-day recording ability in the camera itself, where you don't have to have that box.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the Starlink system's like.
The Starlink is just like the SIM card.
Right, okay.
All that is to do is to connect that to everybody else. It's stored on site, on the disk, and it's got a 2 terabyte disk in each one, capable of having multiple disks in each one, so that would give you,
So it just
whatever.
has to be able to communicate back to that box,
Oh, yeah.
basically? Okay.
But with Reolink, there's no local service technician at all.
Right.
SIM card, yeah, right. And that's the only thing you pay for.
Okay,
But
well-
again, it's, I don't, the
I
only
think
dog
we
I have
a
in the
special
hunt is just
meeting,
the
I think.
idea.
Does everybody agree with that? To table it and have a special meeting where we can get more information
well,
on this?
I mean, I don't know if we need a special meeting, but unless there was something that I thought somebody said that we've got some cameras, if we don't go with Reolink, we're gonna run out of time to return them.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are the cameras that have to be returned.
before a certain date.
No, he
Also,
didn't
Jim-
take them. Why didn't he take them? He was supposed to
You're
take
supposed
them.
to take them, but also to, the camera system that we have right now from Reolink that was ordered, we have to do something with it by the end of January. Because if we're not gonna do it, then we can't return it to Amazon.
But just, that's to take
That's
care
the
of a
one-
faulty one.
Correct.
No,
Faulty one.
I'm gonna take that hard drive out
Okay?
and put it in there and send it back. I mean,
Let's do it.
it came in DOA.
Yeah, yeah,
It came in DOA, and rather than go through all the RMA stuff,
yeah.
we've got that long, I mean, it's just gonna be a very simple swap out.
You're talking about if something breaks?
The one that
The one
that I
that's
just
bad
put
now.
in, apparently it had been dropped.
Well, okay, I'm talking about, I've got a system in here 6 months from now, and one of the cameras doesn't work.
We've
Then we have to buy new.
we've got
Well,
boxes of cameras that we
Who's
can,
gonna do that?
well, the same people who installed it.
Where are they?
I'm sitting right here, and then Charlie's there. It's
What
plug and
if you're in
play.
Arkansas?
Charlie's here. It's literally the same,
Reolink is plug and
okay,
play.
the same kind of,
a
it's the
year and
same
a
kind of
half and we're
connection.
not. Who's doing it?
It's the same kind of connection.
It doesn't matter what system I would train, just like he said.
Yeah.
I would open a ticket, he would open a ticket, we would do, take the camera down, put the camera back.
That's exactly what Verkada said.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
6 of one, half a
Here's
dozen.
my concern.
Okay.
I like the system, I like the proposal, I thought it was financially feasible. However, I don't have a comparison. And I've got something hard right here I can look at, and I've got a bunch of intangible questions that were answered in my mind. That if that's all I'm looking at, whether to go or no go with them, I'd say go with them.
Heather.
But if we need to look at somebody else,
Turn the AC off.
somebody has got to come in here like,
So,
somebody's got to come in here like he did and make a case for this and show me some numbers. Otherwise, I'm looking at a pig in the poke.
You sit with Sabrina almost every week. She's the one that's bought everything, and she's the one that pays the bills. So, you know, whatever questions that I don't even know the cost of them because she orders it through Amazon.
Well, I was trying to get her to do that this week, and that was why I came up with that $2,300 number.
Yeah.
Because I thought that that's what she was roughly estimating based upon monthly charges that we would experience from Starlink if we had cameras at 4 different locations to compare.
If you have 4 Starlinks and they're at the $55 a month, even if they're at the full $99 a month, that's $400 a month.
Okay, that's compared to $300 a month with Mercado.
Right.
Yeah, but right now, what I started the conversation off with is she's running them at the lowest bandwidth, and I think that's only like $45 a month. But again, I don't pay the bills, I don't know.
That's 180 versus 300, so that's $20,000.
I do like that Verkada system. I'm not trying to buck it. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate here.
Well, my only question is, do we want to delay this decision until we get some more hard data and facts from Starlink? And from Starlink, who is going to make that presentation? Is it going to be you or is it going to be Sabrina?
If I get the numbers from Sabrina, I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the other thing that bothers me is that here's a guy I can call. I can get on him, 24/7. Or his answering service or whoever it is if I've got a service. But if we're doing this, she's paying the bill and you're changing out the cameras and Charlie's going to get the lines run, who I hold accountable.
Now, this is the gateway that Verkada uses, okay? Let's just say we go with Starlink. What if we start having problems with this, right? Then that's our responsibility. Hey, Verkada, you're selling us crap. We go with the mini, what is it called?
Starlink Mini.
Verkada cameras go to, will run off the Starlink. So we might find out that their gateways are full crap. But right now, it hasn't been. We've been getting heat. But those cameras will run off Starlink. We might find that trial and error later on.
Well, what's your recommendation?
Go with whatever system is worth. What features do we want? I remember the town hall people saying that they wanted for safety of the city, the water plant, number one, priority, right? If we want to put any cameras on it, we'll put any cameras on it. We want to catch people stealing and dumping and all that stuff. I think Verkada is going to be able to do it back. I don't know about the system.
Let me interject this as well. I've not even looked at a cellular gateway. Because that would also interface with our current system without having to put a Starlink in. I put Starlink at my house, and I put Starlink at the water plant because we needed internet out there. And when we went over the conventional method with the local provider, it was thousands and thousands of dollars to run something down there, and all I needed was an internet connection. So I suggested the Starlink, and it works fine. There may be other applications, though, that Starlink may not work. Let's look and see what we can do on our own cellular gateway and just see what the cost of that is. If all we need is a SIM card, it's just a matter of purchasing the equipment, and I don't know what that equipment costs. So I never even thought about that until you showed me what they're actually using.
So you've got a laptop or a computer down there at the sewer plant, right?
No, it's just a monitor. It's just a monitor.
But it's inside the building.
It's inside the building.
That's got to be protected.
You don't have to have a monitor for that. I just put it down there.
It's a piece of electronic equipment.
Yes.
And it's in a building that has almost been DNR'd. Now, do we have to run the air conditioner in that building?
Nope.
But it's in that building, so it's going to be exposed to wasp nest and whatever else is down there.
I haven't put it in any kind of sealed box.
No, okay, but I mean, that's something that Starlink has to have that Verkada doesn't have to have, is that correct?
No, everything that Verkada puts out is in a weatherproof box. I didn't buy a weatherproof box for that because we had the building.
All right,
Yeah, he would build a waterproof box, like I would
Yeah,
build.
yeah.
We would be
It's just
doing-
parts.
That's why I try to do the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, this doesn't have anything to what it kind of does, but I think that there's probably an unknown future for Starlink and that technology or Wi-Fi and communication systems and whatnot that
Do
we haven't really touched as a country.
Do we know how long the real link cameras are rated? Because I like how these were rated for 20 years,
I don't know.
even though we probably wouldn't keep them that long.
I mean,
But
I've had my system up for 5.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I know 5 works.
yeah. They're
I don't
metal,
know.
they're
I'm kind of in a-
intrinsically safe. I don't know, but they're very inexpensive.
yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Jim. I mean, we're spread thin in some areas here, and I don't know about having to kind of maintain a camera system as well for possibly the same amount of money or maybe slightly less. I don't know.
And we're using the Starlinks on the boardwalk, which is way out in the middle of nowhere, like literally
Yeah,
way out. And none of our guys are having issues unless they're up underneath an electrical line coming across, or it's a very, very cloudy day. And they're out in the middle of nowhere.
well, I get no cell service on Thousand Oaks, so I don't know if that matters.
But otherwise, they work great for all of our guys out there for security
I don't know about
purposes.
the administration part, but you could set Sabrina up as the administrator for this, and every council member would have access to the camera system. And then she can delete, create, all that stuff, and then give certain privileges and what you can do with the police system. I don't know what kind of admin.
Wouldn't that be like the IT situation that we've already had?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just add to it.
That he would do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
And then he could give us permissions to do things that you would do.
Or
yeah,
delete.
okay. That's what I was asking, if it had to
And
do
right
with.
now, I'm, because he hasn't been here, I'm the lead on that.
So do we want to approve Verkada, or do we want to table this for another discussion?
We have a timeline of the end of January about the real link. Is that the?
Well, that's to return, I mean, once Jeff actually takes
I
what he
get
needs
this
to
weekend.
put into the box, and we can return it. But the whole thing is, are we gonna run out of time on this? Because we're at the deadline, pretty much,
What about the
Oh, for the
deadline,
trial.
the deadline of
the
that?
trial.
Yeah, but how long does it take?
Well,
for
I
them
think
to
the
install
trial's
it?
done, I think the equipment, you know, from what I've seen of the quality of it's fine. It's
I mean,
real
I
good.
like it too.
Well,
That's-
even with
that's
the
why
trial
we put-
ending, we would have to still reinstall 4 new cameras, take down,
Anyway.
so it would probably be a couple weeks without cameras, right?
It's,
Or it could be in
I
and
just
out.
found one of the cellular Wi-Fi SIM router, $200. So that's just scratching the surface, just as an FYI. So what's in that box there, we could probably have for $200 or $300. And not have Starlink and not have a $55 a month charge. It's using the same SIM card that we're using now.
That's the part, that's what we talked
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, we wouldn't even have to have, if his units are using cell service and they're getting your gateway, all we need is a gateway with a SIM card in it.
But how would the camera, I'm terrible about talking about cameras.
The gateway is the septic tank, not a person.
Yeah.
That's what he's
With
saying.
T-Mobile.
We're already paying for it.
We should probably try to put the DVR.
It has the Verkada at the front.
Right,
If we went with the Verkada.
it's $60 to $80 a month,
Who has the strongest system, and that's where we're going to take $80
a month, yeah.
per.
So if you and I need to go down there, because I want to see their gateway and I want to see if it's a 1 port or a 2 port. If it's a 2 port, then how about we try our DVR in theirs to see if our DVR will talk to it without messing with their camera? Just plug it into that second port to see if it boots up. That's fine. Yeah, we could do that.
Well, let me ask you another question here. The equipment that we've got, that we hadn't installed yet, that we're considering sending it back, is there a timeline on when we have to send that back, and what is the value of that
January
equipment?
31st.
What?
January 31st.
What's the value of that equipment?
That's $700.
We're not going to keep that.
Send it back.
We are going to send it back. As soon as I take the hard drive out of it and swap it with the damaged hard drive that we just installed. We do not have another charge for that. It's going back.
Well, where I'm trying to go is that if we're letting $700 drive our decision on now, then let's send it back and let's delay this decision until we can get a more accurate description of the Reolink system and a more accurate cost comparison of the Reolink system.
Yeah. Well, we'll have another meeting before they have to return it.
With the Verkada, if we went that route, will we have to keep Starlink?
No.
Are we under a contract or are we monthly with them?
No, monthly. And if one of these works, we won't have to buy a Starlink or anything. And we would not be under the monthly contract other than our SIMS card. So
So the general consensus is you guys want to table this to our next meeting.
Yeah.
Please.
All in favor?
Aye.
yeah.
All right, table. All right, Jim, you're up for your discussion on consideration, discussion, and approval for transferring funds and closing accounts per recommendation of the city investment officer. Jim, you have the floor.
All right, as y'all, Sabrina left out a page of this too, but as y'all recall, y'all selected me as a financial officer for the city. And as a result of being the financial officer, I had to go to school to get bona fide, which I did. I've got printed out certificates suitable for framing. And we have met with our CPA, and one of the key things, just give you a little bit of background. This is a pretty awesome responsibility when you invest in somebody else's money. Yeah. But one of the principles that I kind of got from taking a course in just common sense is that you want to work toward getting as high yield as you can, but maintaining the liquidity of your product and your principal and very low risk. And what we were doing, Janet and I, the accountant and I, were looking here several months ago, and just we have interest income coming in every month as it is. If you look on the budget sheet we've already approved, you'll see that there's interest income. So we got to look at that and said, what, Gary was the big advocate of let's make some money out of this, make some interest off it. So we got to look and just doing cowboy math, we were making about 2% on the money we had. Except there was one line item in there that said tax pool, that I didn't know what it was, and it was paying like 4%. I said, whoa. So once we got into this and started meeting with the CPA, the tax pool is a statewide account system set up for municipalities that is managed by like mutual funds or any other kind of investment funds by professionals that do that with very strict guidelines, and that was the sheet of paper I didn't have in here. But it's very conservative. It's finance. It probably focuses more on bonds and U.S. Treasuries and CDs, something that's very...
Are you talking about the textbook sheet?
Yeah.
It's in here.
Where is it?
It's right behind the other sheet. It's right here. I'll let you have mine.
It's not mine. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
This sheet here, y'all got this sheet?
Yep.
Okay. That's just a brief description of what text pool is. You can look at it if you want to. So forget about what I said, because I only did that because the sheet wasn't in here. Or I didn't think it was. So anyway, what we've decided to do is Oh, the other thing about these accounts, we already had the text pool account set up in the Public Works. We did not have it in the city. So we had to go through the process of setting up that account with the city. And we can transfer money to that text pool from any of our accounts. There's 4 people that are eligible to do this. That's required signatures for 2 people to make any time a transfer is made. And those 4 people are the mayor, myself, Sabrina, and the CPA Sharp. So the other thing about the transfer, money can only be transferred from the Bevel Oaks account to the text pool account and back. It cannot be moved anywhere else. So that would reduce the potential for any kind of fraud of somebody taking money off and putting it in an account in the Cayman Islands or someplace else. So very safe, very good built-in audit system, and I felt pretty good about it. The principal, the interest on this is still around 4%. I expect it to go down a little bit with what's happening because all these funds, as you know, if you got CDs, fluctuate with the Treasury Department. So, but if they do, the others are going to go down too. So we're going to move. First thing we're going to do is close out a number of unused accounts or accounts where we had set up for different money and we're not that maybe that grant was coming out of that account and it's done and there's still money left in it, and we're going to close those accounts out in Public Works and move that money into the operating account. And the same thing for the city, except for I believe Sherry felt like we needed to keep the community development account separate because we now have cash moving in and out of that from outside. So it's only $813 based on this. So anyway, these are the amount of money based on the previous months. I think if you looked at the cost sheets, those numbers may be a little bit different now. But when we move these accounts, it was almost this amount of money. If you look at the first one, the plan is to move $300,000 into the text pool account from the city's operating expenses after these are closed. And then from the Public Works account, we're going to be moving about $500,000 in these closed accounts into the operating account. Our operating account is very high, and the plans are to move $750,000 from the operating account in Public Works into the text pool account. So in total, we're going to be moving a little over $1 million and getting 4% on that versus 2%. Now, some of this we're getting 2%. So if you do the math, you say we're gaining 2% on all of it, then that's what, $40,000, $20,000 a year net. So
better what we were
20
getting.
20 grand that we aren't making now off that money.
Now, I have a lawyer question, Drew.
Yeah.
Once they agree to move these funds, do we need to back it up with a resolution for January's meeting stating that this is what we're going to do, is move these funds?
Well, I thought this was
We don't have
motion to move the funds.
Right, but we don't have a resolution in our packets at this time.
The resolutions don't necessarily have
Don't
to
have
be
to do
written ahead of time.
Okay, I just want to make
Well,
sure.
let me get my 2 cents worth in here. The council, and I don't say this because of my ego, just out of principle. The council has elected me to do this. And there's very good restrictions. Quite frankly, I'm a little reluctant to it. There's very good restrictions on the way the money's moved, and I've kind of explained that to you. I had to go through training to do that. None of y'all did. And it would bother me that if I have to come here every time and get approval to do that, when none of y'all are trained, and I am. Mm-hmm. Now, that's maybe a little bit ostentatious on my part, but
Feels like the training went to your head.
we don't know what a pain that was to
But
go
he's
through that.
making a point. I wouldn't know if he's right or wrong in certain instances. So,
Now, the other requirement that is required is that we have a quarterly report of any transactions, anything that's going on. So I don't even see that being needed, because what's gonna happen is gonna be a monthly report, because it's gonna show, unless we go and make another
It's gonna be
move,
on the
unless we
budget
decide moving,
or on our-
unless we go
On the
and
financials.
invest
Or financials,
money
yes.
in Joe Evans' campaign for JP, you know, and expect an 8% return on it. There you go. You know?
Yeah. So this was for
Aruba every time.
transparency then,
Right.
basically?
On his right.
Okay.
Right. So this is a plan, and it was, and we're trying to do this fairly quickly as we can. Go ahead and start.
So what we would do a resolution approving this. We would say, we've considered, our investment officer made a recommendation, we met, considered, approved it. That the transfers will occur according to this.
So the
And
resolution
that's
will
what
be
we're doing
presented in January.
The resolution could be passed today and occur today.
That's what my thought is what this was.
Yes.
What we're doing right now,
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Right.
which I objected to, but
All right, with motions and all that.
So, do we have to have discussion when we're moving amounts at another time, certain amounts?
that was the
According
point I
to
was
the
trying to make.
yeah, I mean-
My response is to that, no, because I have to report to you
Right.
quarterly every transaction that was made. And so that will be done, actually be done on a monthly basis, because
Right.
it's gonna be so small anyway.
Okay.
You look puzzled.
No, I agree. Yeah, that doesn't seem
Unrealistic.
confrontational,
Well,
or not
it'll be part
controversial.
of his report that he makes anyway.
Yeah, I
The
mean, I
numbers
don't
are
mind
not gonna lie.
compensation,
No,
I'm not
they're
gonna do this
And
stuff
there's
in a
4
vacuum,
people
trust me,
signing.
because I don't like moving $1 million,
No,
you don't belong to me.
confrontation's wrong, controversial. That seems, just recognizing the reality of what's gonna happen, and yes, you're right.
And he's acting in the capacity that we voted him in.
Yeah, we have authorized them to do it, and
Right.
then the monthly reports will reflect it.
Right.
But you have to approve what his recommendation is. We'll approve it, and any change would be.
No, see, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
My understanding is I report to you on a quarterly basis what I have done in conjunction with the other 3 approval members. Because what's going to happen? All right, somebody comes out with a special deal here. I mean, if you played around with CDs, you'll see some bank all of a sudden offer 6%,
Right.
by up to the end of the month or sometime. So if there's some opportunity that under the criteria that all this is based on.
Well, I agree that you're authorized to take that action in accordance with 2 to 4 or whoever does it. But I'm also like, it's a belt and suspenders action to show your work, to have a noticed issue and then have it approved by the city council. That way it's not just the committees or the investment officer's action. It's the city council approving, recognizing that it occurred.
Well, I mean, if that's what I'm just
It's
saying,
belt
I'm
and
just telling you what
suspenders.
is not required as a financial officer. But if that's what the council is wanting, I mean, they can tell me and anybody else to do whatever they want to do.
Yes. And so my recommendation would be to, when you have suggestions or you're about to take action or you've taken action, to report it, and they validate it through official action when there's a quorum. Like,
Well, I
because
mean, if I've taken action, it's done.
yes, and that's what I'm saying. It's belt and suspenders. This is the suspenders portion where they're validating what you've done.
Well, I mean, that's okay. Like I come in here next January and say we moved $750,000 to text pool. It's done. We did it tomorrow.
Right.
Probably not, but when I come in next month, I can do that by the Texas, by all the data that I studied and had to go take. I have to do that on a quarterly basis. But I can do it on a monthly basis, because it's not like Beaumont where they're going to be, or Houston, it's going to be moving money probably all the time.
Right.
It's going to be very rare that this is going to get done. Maybe after this one doesn't get done at all, other than we need some money to pull back, which we are able to do that on very short notice, by the way. So that's another good thing.
So are you, just so I understand, so are you saying if there's an opportunity, he sees an opportunity, he has to wait for a meeting to get approval to do that?
No, when we have an opportunity to have a meeting to validate the investment officer's actions, we should. That way the council he reports, we're aware, we validate,
Okay.
we do it, we bless it, and off we go. And now, rather than his decision being made with some, which, I mean, the mayor authorizes the purchase of a copier. It happens, and then you ultimately find out later, and it was a proper exercise of administrative duties or whatever. While you may not necessarily vote on that, on this, he's taken action, he's looked at it, he's reporting. I have zero issue, and it's preferable to notify the community that a decision has been made and this occurred, and the council validates it through a vote. And if they don't vote, then well, that's his instructions to change it. Can't conceive of that happening, but it's redundant. It's redundant, but it's also there have been issues that you've tried to when people have asked what happened here, what happened there. And what's really nice is when you have minutes and a resolution to look at, you can see it.
Yeah.
And so the resolution is validating something that happened sort of internally in a back room. And when citizens care about such issues, guess what? They can look at minutes that are, scanned into the website rather than, oh, don't worry about it. The investment officer exercised his or her duties. It's fine. Yes, it is fine. But also, guess what? He or she reported to the council, and the council said, good job, go forth and do more good works. So, as an attorney, legally you don't have to do it. As an attorney, I do like us having a regular pathway of recognizing the city council of something that's happened.
I
Long
guess
story
I'm
short.
real confused what you said.
I,
Are you
You're
saying
validating
it's
your
okay
actions.
to report
Bring it
monthly
to
what I
council.
did during the month?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I am.
okay.
And what I'm saying is the statutes or whatever that they were requires a quarterly report.
Yeah.
I mean, that's required.
Okay.
But if I do it monthly, I can do it monthly, that's no
Yes.
problem.
All right.
problem.
Got it.
Yes.
I just don't want to come in here monthly and say I'm going to move another $100,000 in the textbook.
You can say you did it. I mean,
Right.
As long as it's reported.
Right.
That's what he's
I
There is
know-
value in
I got no-
reporting.
I know problem with
Unless
that.
there's an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be right there in front of everybody to begin with.
Yes.
All
Yes.
All right. Any more discussion?
Good job.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Who did the, when you called it
The motion?
the first and the second on that?
I second Jeff.
I did
Jeff
first.
and then Jim.
I thought that was for the other stuff, but anyway.
We'll just volunteer him on
It's a
both.
gift. Take it.
All right, next item up on the agenda, consideration, discussion, and approval for the update to the storage container. Can I have a motion?
Second, I'll give you that motion.
Jeff
Second.
and Stephanie, second. All right, this is a continuation of what we discussed last month on updating the ordinance 246 regarding the storage containers. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Who would like to go first?
I see where, I don't see where there's a minimum lot size.
Talks about meets and bounds.
Well, the original ordinance said
Said 1 acre.
you've got to have at least an
Yeah.
acre. And maybe I've missed it, but I don't see it.
I didn't see it either.
It's got to be on there.
Yeah.
And 1 acre would qualify for what, 1 box or 2? We can't start a box farm. See, brother.
See you guys later.
So that needs to be,
Lot size.
yeah.
So
The other,
this is basically going to be tabled for this discussion, so we can add these things.
If you have
Lot
less
size.
than an acre, you shouldn't even put in for the permit.
It has like where the,
Talks about meets and
front
bounds.
setback and side setback and all that, but you're saying it should have at least an acre?
Looking at other cities' recommendations, there's no reason to, reinvent the wheel.
Okay, so lot size, what
Yep.
else, Jeff?
the maximum
Maximum number
would be, what, 1 or 2 per acre?
per acre, okay.
Yeah, no more than 2. And that's with approval of the site prep.
So that just needs to be added in to what we're considering.
Well, right now, Heather, we're gonna table this, but we're gonna discuss it so we can make the changes.
Oh, okay.
So,
Let me shut up.
No. Valid question.
all right, what
Well,
else?
I had a couple other things. I think there needs to be some clarity with FEMA, because FEMA has different setback regulations, and I want to make sure it's specified at every option to make sure that you are to the FEMA. I know it says it at the beginning, but people you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So the minimum of 25 feet and 5 feet and 10 feet, they're different with FEMA. So I wonder if we should just match that. We need to be as strict as FEMA, and then it's easier for these people to differentiate what, so that way you don't have a neighbor going, why is theirs only 5 and mine has to be 10,
Well, you're talking about the 2 wheel?
No, I'm talking about the setbacks.
The setbacks itself?
Yeah,
You're going to find that the deed restrictions are going to trump all this other,
Right,
and they're
right.
not the same.
right.
They vary.
That's
Now,
true.
what are the FEMA setbacks?
I was reading it the other night and I was so tired, I just gave up, but I
take
feel
off
like
2
there was a 20 foot.
containers?
Yeah, take that out.
That's what I was just trying to search, but my internet's not, or it's not working well here. I have 1 bar.
I see on
So-
Are you on our network?
utility
Quick
connection.
question for
Oh.
you, Stephanie. Like it says
Utility
here for the
connections,
FEMA
I see.
floodplain placement standards, if we incorporated that into the residential, would that be sufficient?
I
No
think,
power, no water?
because I think,
Correct.
Okay.
well, I don't know that we need to list
Then we
them
ain't gotta
separately,
worry
but I think
about
our
if
minimums
it
need to
passes
match
at least.
theirs, because that way you don't have
If they
neighbor
add to it.
wars.
Right.
Like, they get to have it
There can
5
be no
foot,
labs being
you know what I
taken place.
mean?
Yeah.
I think we just need to
Passes.
match that,
Right
not,
now I'm against it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So,
Against it
so
anyway, so.
we should incorporate that the FEMA floodplains placement standards should be like across
the
the
mi-
board.
throughout the
right,
whole
that's what I'm
city.
Across the
thinking.
board?
Yeah,
Okay.
We're talking about FEMA.
and then,
No, you're going, the deed restrictions they vary. I mean, there's 2 or 3 different, maybe there's just 2 different ones that are different. 'Cause
well,
not only that,
should
they,
be either or, right? Deed restriction or the
Deed
minimum?
restrictions.
whichever
trust
one
all.
is the most
Right, the
stringent.
most, right.
I mean, if, looking on page, I don't know, section 4, number 2, commercial industrial, this one says 20 feet versus 25 up here. I would think that should be the same. I mean, if you read this, this is, if the deed restriction doesn't say, then this is what the minimums are.
True, yeah, that's right.
And, if FEMA says 30 feet, then I would go with FEMA. But if FEMA says 20 feet, I'd stay with our 25.
Right.
Roger's saying no power, no water to Connex boxes.
If they're gonna be using though as a work shed, or as a workshop, how would that?
I'm telling you, the FEMA
I mean, I'm
regulations
just
are really.
Yeah,
writing
yeah,
down notes.
I'm pulling it up for discussion. If you're gonna build a workshop out of it,
Well, my worry is if it's a closed-in container, you don't know what's taking place in there. And if it has electricity and water, then that's a good way to set up something that's not supposed to be going
I
on.
read something interesting in FEMA thing. They
Illegal
said
activities.
they usually don't like the elevated accessory buildings, and this would be considered an accessory building, because down the road, people forget their regulation requirements, and then they try to enclose the underneath, and that's not allowed. So there's like a lot of stuff in FEMA that you gotta read. Yeah,
I don't even like them.
right. I did have a question
In the
about
city,
the,
period.
why are we allowing stacking too high with a
no,
fence?
We've already
That's
noted that
something we can
down.
take-
I
That's
think,
out.
yeah. And then also on the short term, I was okay with. The long term talks about must be free of rust, graffiti, and structural defects. I think our original ordinance said free of commercial markings too. We need to make sure that, yeah. And then I think there was one other thing.
Do we have a height and length what we're allowing, because some of these might be taller than your regular picket fence.
Well, they'd have to build a fence to suit.
I don't think that's specified in here though, because I was gonna ask that same question, like the fence should be
Fence is like 6 feet.
It's gotta be completely out of
It's the same
sight.
as the,
Yeah, I
mobile
agree.
home park.
for permanent, for short term, they don't have to have that, right?
Depends on what you guys want. You can put a fence up.
I agree. For short term, if it's gonna be for
Yeah.
a construction
Why do I gotta
project
put
or
it-
Oh, yeah,
whatever, we
something
shouldn't
like
have to do that.
But I read in the permanent thing, the fence says, where
6
does it
feet.
say?
Fencing required, section 4.
Is it section 4?
It's on the second page,
Closed by a fence,
section
meeting
4.
city standards.
Oh, and it says, in the backyard, nowhere in the definitions does it say a house has to be present. So we need to specify you can't do this on a property with no residential home, like on a vacant property or a lot.
Why would that
The
be?
question I had is
What's
that one place says 25 feet or whatever it is, and the other one says it's got to be in the backyard. Now, that could be contradictory.
Well, that's your setback line, is 25 feet.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's not the backyard. In my house, it wouldn't be the backyard. Yours either.
My backyard is not even 25 feet.
Yeah, that would almost preclude that at all.
So we just basically say it must be in the backyard.
Well,
But I don't think you can
You
in most of
can't.
these properties because, well, I guess.
And plus it has to be at least an acre
Yeah.
of lot.
Well, I'm on an
Not everybody has
1.01.
an
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The easiest solution is we don't allow comics boxes.
Well,
This is
I
really-
think there might be maybe a different, maybe the permanent thing is really
an issue.
giving us, rubbing us wrong, I guess. Maybe the short term needs to be revisited. Maybe there's a longer short term. I don't know, but
The majority of people I've spoken with are not in favor
Yeah,
of it having
too.
that in our
right.
neighborhood.
I think there's pros and cons if you have a really lined out design specifications, like if you're gonna build, like I've seen some really cool homes built out of these things, right? I mean, you can do like quarters and make them cross out of your house if you want, you know? I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff, but I just don't know that we're there.
Maybe we should bring in other ordinances and just compare and pick and choose the better parts of other ordinances, so we're not trying to do this from,
other
from
ordinances, you mean ours or?
no,
No,
Other cities.
other municipalities, other like cities,
other
probably,
cities, other
yeah.
cities, because just take the best practices of those other cities and put them in ours.
Well, listen, they can, this is how it would benefit Bevel Oaks, and I hate connexes, I'm gonna tell you this right now, as far as a storage place, like just a connex box. But if they're used to make a home, you can create affordable housing for lots that are challenging to sell.
But the tax base
So-
is totally different. It's personal property, not real estate. So
Not
we
when you turn it
lose-
into a home.
If it's classified as a home or
Right.
structure, which whenever you and I talked about it, I said, man, I
Which
just
is a-
wouldn't want to see a home
I
out here.
thought this didn't
It's a
allow for
totally,
that.
It's a whole
This-
different.
no, it
Right
doesn't,
now.
it
Right.
doesn't, but I was just saying that I was doing some reading on like, what does it do to the market in your communities? I just wanted to see
It's
the
inexpensive.
historical, and actually it's kind of varied depending on where, but Texas is one of the biggest states to allow connexes because of affordable housing. It's generated, well, and that's probably why we can keep our housing affordable.
Because we got so
So,
many ports here, we're all over. the
true,
place.
right?
Like in Austin, they built that whole apartment complex.
Right.
I've seen pictures of
Yeah,
something
like
that.
300 or
Yeah.
400 of them.
But I don't think this community is one of those that wants to have railroad cars basically sitting in yards. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I think if we did that, we would be heading, unless we had some really strict guidelines and timelines for them to meet those design guidelines outlined, then
My own personal preference is shipping containers not be allowed in Buffalo.
I agree with that.
especially with the flooding, because they're not anchored very well to begin with.
Well, this says now, look down here further, they gotta do that.
Well, FEMA's anchoring section is very strict, very, very strict. It's very difficult to meet FEMA's
Well, does
regulations.
that mean it's gotta be 2 feet above
Yes.
DFE?
Yep, Then you have to have a new cert.
Well, I mean, that's if we approve. I'm kind of with Roger is. My opinion is, I don't care about this, there shouldn't be any.
Yeah, and if you gotta put it 2 feet high, who's gonna spend the money to build that tall of a fence?
Well, you're gonna have to if this goes
Well,
through, if
then
you
it-
want it on your building, on your
Probably
property.
somebody will.
Then you're
You set the
then you
bar
look
high.
stupid. You look like you're doing a Walking Dead barricade, man.
So right now, we're split 2-2. I'm assuming that you're okay with connexes?
No, I'm saying no.
So
At
what do
this
we do
point.
about the 8 that are here?
I know that
Well, we're working on some. I don't know of.
2 have gone, from what I've been told.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Good,
But
'cause I don't want to have to deal
know
with.
exactly where, 'cause I'd have to ask Charlie. Technically, it's gonna be an ordinance enforcement type thing.
Well, I am aware of 3, or at least the one on Riverbend Bend that was like what direction? On the west side of Riverbend Road. I don't see it anymore. It was like in the weeds somewhere, but I don't know if it's still there.
That could be the one that they were telling me that was wrong.
It was just on like a vacant property or lot.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would agree to is that if there were some short-term use for something around new construction but then you start making exceptions that get hard, so.
Well, that's part of.
It's already here.
It's already in our
Yeah.
ordinance, which is allowable, but they have to get a permit first.
That's what he said.
And a maximum of
There
180
would have to
days.
be some kind of.
It's like a roll-off bin, something like that, they pull their
Permit for
permit for it.
The only thing I would say is that we probably want to definitely look at the commercial piece of that, because I don't think that's included in our current
It's not.
ordinance. So we might want to, because we have the fireworks, we have Botros in the trailer park, the other shop,
King's
Sit
Mark.
Go. So, I mean, commercial's different to me, but they do, if they neighbor a residential property like Sitco and that woman that owns the property right there, I don't think she would really appreciate looking at the back of a Connex. She's already looking at back of a building, but I don't know. Just a thought.
Drew, what's your opinion?
Well, I mean, this is a policy decision for y'all. I mean, whether thumbs up, thumbs down.
Do we
It's
keep-
well within your capabilities to say yes or no. I
so-
mean, but you know, I would make an allowance for a temporary one. Someone's house burns down, they put stuff in a pod. They can have a pod there for 6 months, whatever. You know, I mean, sometimes or someone moves here and they're out of state and they move a pod that sits there. And that's a small example of kind of a reasonable request. If someone sees a pod sitting there, they know it's going to be moved. And that's me making a policy decision. It's really not my call. I'm just saying,
It's
we
already-
know there's some understandable short-term uses. The long-term uses is up to the city council. This was just proposed and
Well, technically, one of those boxes wouldn't be different than one of those pod, whatever.
pods are usually half a shipping container and they're, you know,
Yeah.
label it
I mean, if that's
So
what they're
expensive.
using it for, the utility's certainly different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You realize that's totally short-term. I just think the mainstream use of them has grown, has outgrown our ordinance, or our ordinance is just needed some updating.
I mean, we can continue working on updating this, but if the general consensus is they're gonna vote no, how far do you want me to go on?
I would like to see other cities' ordinances. And
well, okay, so that's common, and that's usually where, if y'all give me marching orders, that's where I start. I look at battle tested ones, basically. But I look at battle tested ones that prohibit, battle tested ones that
Yes.
allow reasonable use, battle tested ones that allow for apartment complexes to be built out of. I mean, I need some guidance on it. I didn't
Yeah.
draft this, so I need if I'm going to look that up, I will go whatever direction. And now's the time to talk about the broad direction of one. And they could be, look, none, short-term only, short-term and long-term, or long-term encouraged.
I'm just concerned about our market in general here. People are, it seems like homes sit on the market a little bit longer than other areas, and I just don't know about wasting too much more time on connexes.
Tell me where your head's at.
Lived out here for 22 years, and it's never been an issue.
What's not been an issue?
The Connex buildings that are out here
They
has
ain't been out
never
here.
been an issue.
I
They've
have
been
not-
out
I
here
didn't-
22 years, though.
I've never heard any rebuttal on anybody having a Connex until recently. And when you start looking around, they're here and here, and they're here, and they're here, and they're
I get
here,
complaints
and they're
or
here.
people discussing them, but I think people are afraid to create neighbor wars, so they don't just offer that, out into the public. Like, I don't like your Connex, they don't want to create neighbor wars, but it's definitely said.
Drew, find us an example of one ordinance that's pro and then one ordinance that's against, and that way we can compare the two side by side. And we can basically update this one accordingly, do it that way.
What kind of city, I'm not familiar with, like, is there like municipalities in Nederland or Port Arthur that currently have them, maybe?
I know
I bet
Beaumont
you they
doesn't.
don't have them in
I know
Nederland.
Beaumont does, because they have
Yeah.
small lots, but like,
Exactly.
the big acre properties,
I mean, it's like China
Sour
doesn't
Lake?
really have
Sour
these
Lake, you always
issues.
check Sour Lake.
City of Sour
I
Lake's
can't
not
imagine them
gonna allow
having it, though. They have major ordinance
Yeah.
enforcement stuff.
Hardin County.
The search is statewide. There's a lot of municipalities that have a lot of different
Yeah.
urban, suburban,
True.
and rural planning focuses.
They're
So
great
I
on
just
the
haven't
deer
driven
lease.
around enough, like, to see
Deer lease
other.
is, yeah, different.
Communities.
I'm
If you're gonna be there for a
confident
while.
There's not much equal around here. It'll probably be
Right.
a long.
Might have to go to like
I-35.
Jasper.
Jasper's more country, sure. All right, so basically for the storage containers, we're gonna table this. Any more discussion before we move on?
But what I'm reading is you're generally not in favor, so it should be fairly tight restriction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I just look. I mean, there's a universe of stuff. I just need to be able to narrow it down. That's
Yeah.
fine. Sure.
My own position would be short term, would be okay, with some good strict guidelines, with some, kind of like our travel trailers.
And if it was a perfect world for you, what would short term be for you? 6 months?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, the guys.
that's a current
the guys
law.
up here.
Y'all have one on.
I know. I've read it.
I mean, the guy's up here whose house burned, he could, whatever he salvaged out of that, he's gonna want to be.
Absolutely.
helpful to put a place in there, otherwise he's gonna have to go pay $270 a month down here
Right,
at public storage to keep it in.
My whole concern on this whole thing is that we've told all the neighbors, that everybody that lives out here, under no circumstances can you have a storage building built or a storage area built from a shipping container. That's what we've told them. And all I was trying to do when I brought this up was to give somebody a path to do that with pretty high standards. I don't believe it should be carte blanche, everybody, okay, bring them in, they're on sale, because your lot can't contain that. You've just got to, I'm trying to just give the neighbors, because there's so many that have them, a permanent solution that is amicable to not being unsightly. And that's where we're trying to just get these expectations raised, so it's not. You've got them out in plain sight that have never been questioned.
You mentioned that before, and I had never,
I've
seen
never
the only
seen it.
one I had ever seen was the one that we got a problem with this whole house. And until you mentioned it, then I did see the one over here. That's the only two I've ever
I
seen.
Yeah, there's
drove
one just right around the
whole
corner from your
neighborhood,
house.
didn't see any.
And matter of fact, there's
Except
two
for the,
right around the corner from your
trailer
house.
park.
And you just don't see them.
But
And
I
they're
can-
out there in plain sight. But if you can camouflage, if you can make them to where it's not an eyesore, why would we disallow that? But it's not like you want to just see it. I don't want to see it. But if it's something that's contained and can be decorated, that's bottom line, that's not a right word, but if
I
it can be
wouldn't-
contained.
I wouldn't
would-
consider
I
it
would-
unless there was an absolute fence completely
I would
blocking
much
it.
Exactly.
prefer somebody building a barn or a workshop or, a shed or whatever it is, whatever they're putting in there can be put in a decent looking constructed building with a slab on it.
One of my things is if we were to consider it and they put one back there in the backyard, but their fence hasn't been built, and they still, month after month after month,
Yeah.
has not been built. How do we enforce it?
Right.
No,
I
it's
agree.
gotta have a
We call the
timeline.
Code enforcement officer.
Yeah, it's gotta, all of it.
The
Just
other-
just
the
like
other-
building a shop. There's a
Permitting,
there's a
you have a certain amount
framework
of time.
of a building up here that's just been out, just the frame for months and months and months.
Well, my only other problem with, let's say it's in one of the X zones that we actually do have out here, the flood zone X, and they don't have to do the FEMA regulations and stuff, and they don't anchor this thing properly, and then we have flood, and that thing will float, because they make metal boats, and it smashes into the neighbor's house. Because they won't be anchoring it correctly out here. We barely do anything correctly out here. So I just don't trust the cedar fence holding it in.
Well, to that point, whenever, after Harvey, we had people's landscape timbers
Yep.
come through our fence.
Right.
We've collected 25 or so propane bottles
Mm-hmm.
that just floated and floated and floated. So there was no ramification to,
But a propane bottle is a little less damaging than a
but the big
20-foot
fence,
long
the
Connex.
big railroad ties that came through my fence and through,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
That's-
those kinds of
That's
things.
why we have ordinance enforcement for yard debris and stuff, and so trying to get
None of
there.
that's applicable though when in a mass casualty like that.
No, you're right.
And
You just
we
found
may
out
have
they
lost
were
a
rocket
thread
ship,
on
didn't
this.
you?
I think I have the
I
guidance
may.
I need to look for.
Okay.
I
So
think
That's
we're-
some
let's
Chris's
go ahead and move on, guys.
Good.
Let's go to
Gaming.
8D, consideration, discussion, and approval for updates to the gaming machines. Basically, we're doing this because there are game machines that are actually allowed, so we're updating the ordinance, allowing the game machines, which are skill-based game machines, so that way Rick can be in compliance. Can I have a motion?
Let me ask you something.
Well, let's do a
Yes,
There
motion,
ain't
yes.
no way it ain't ladder skill based.
Second.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second. All right,
Who's
now,
first?
Jeff, Roger, all right. Open for discussion.
Go ahead, Jim.
There is no way an 8-liner is skill based.
It is. I
Do the
played it.
eight-liner.
I
No
played
way.
You
it.
have to do a skill type of game after the fact before you get your payout. That's how they're working around it.
Well, no, during the whole thing, you have to select something. So I mean, it was kind of annoying.
It's silly,
but you
but
did.
Is there
it's legal.
Is there a limit amount that they can win on these?
Yeah. I think that there was like well, I don't even think there was a progressive anymore. It was a maximum.
But the whole thing is, we're gonna get more permit money out of Rick by allowing him to have the
I'm-
machines that he already has at the gas station.
There's no progressive anymore, so it doesn't continue to build.
Yeah,
It's
because I
just
just
a
walked in
flat-
like 3 weeks ago and a guy hit $5,000.
Yeah, there's
And
a.
I was like, wow.
I was
We're
playing
going down there
and
tonight.
I was playing
Yeah.
and it took all my money. So that's you're
I've never
welcome. Merry
played 'em.
Christmas, $5,000 guy.
So, what's the city's, I mean, we approved this and somebody
get
comes
money
in
from
and
Rick.
raises them, says, there ain't no way that's skill, you paying out stuff. Used to, you could give them a stuffed animal or something.
Well,
No,
What's the city's liability?
none.
none,
None?
Zero.
None.
Zero.
because they're allowed by the county
The
and
state,
state, right?
the state has
I'm not in a position,
recognized them as a skill, right?
Yes.
That's what you said.
I don't know how they're getting around the
Permit fees,
pay out
$2,000 per
the
machine.
skill piece of that. I mean, y'all told me.
So here are the changes. It used to be they could use what's called the fuzzy animal exception,
Right.
meaning you're playing for a ticket where you win nothing more than a fuzzy animal. That sometimes can be traded in for cash, but that's a different ballgame. And that was any sort of game because the stakes were so low. And recognizing the reality that loophole was closed by another municipality that the Supreme Court validated. And when the Supreme Court validated, that meant the common 8-liners were eliminated. But just like I don't know if y'all been to on Calder, there's a poker room or whatever. Games of skill. If we want to do competitive chess, you can do it. You can put
Yeah.
money on chess. It's a game of
Texas
skill.
Hold'em is-
Bingo.
So using that logic, that logic, the game manufacturers who have a lot to lose change their machines to be games of skill. We can debate. There's no need to debate it. They've done their best to
Yeah.
alter the video games And so this change pulls into, they must be compliant. Okay, so with the change that the Supreme Court did, Jefferson County said no more. No more. No more 8 ladders. No more.
Period.
No more fuzzy animal exception.
Yeah.
To which, but that does not deal with the poker rooms. That doesn't deal with video games that represent poker. For example, play poker on a computer. It's a game of skill. And so, if a game room, some game room wants to open up, they're going to have to have compliant machines. We went from $1,200 a machine to $2,000 a machine.
Yeah, some of that.
And so that's the long and short of it is it must be the new skill-based logic. And you're going to have to pay a lot more for it.
Yeah, my only,
But they have less.
so, the rest of the county has eliminated these machines, is that right?
They're allowed in Beaumont.
I mean,
And they're allowed in Jefferson
you
County.
can say that, but I see them, and all
They
the
are
game
allowed.
manufacturers changed the logic on their deal.
It's basically
Well, they may have
interstate
games
games
of
and
skill now, too.
KYK games.
So our guys now got games of skill, and he's got it, and legally that meets the definition, whatever.
That's for him to prove, and
Yeah,
we
not
could
us.
we could just
Not for us.
we could just prove it if we wanted to.
I like the idea we're making money off of him.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Is he paying?
Yes,
He will January after we pass
Okay,
this.
and does he know this ordinance is gonna raise his,
Nope.
It's
That's a
not. It's
personal-
not a lot of money. He has 2 machines.
He has 3.
I thought he
Oh,
had
maybe it is
4.
3 now.
3 machines plus the ATM that goes hand in
and
hand
so,
with it.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
$2,000 a year
Yes.
Yeah,
Per
well, the
machine.
first
Per
time he
machine.
paid permits,
per machine?
yeah, it was like 8 or 10 grand
Yeah,
for his permits for 1 year.
He paid quite a bit.
Because you got 2,000 for each skilled machine,
What I
and then
have
you got
not
a
done-
quarterly installments, $500 per machine.
He's already passed the
Yeah.
initial stuff. And when I first did this, like in 2017, I found the most expensive one was 1,000. We put it up to 1,200. So what I have not done is see whether 2,000 passes muster, but I don't know. That's up to y'all.
so he doesn't have a clue that we're getting ready to raise the
Well,
rate.
he knows that he's got permit fees that are due because
So-
they're renewable every January.
He has-
Once he's reminded, he pays. He's paid.
Yeah, he
He's
just
gonna
needs to be
pay.
reminded. We call up there and tell him,
Yeah.
hey, your permit fees
He'll-
due, and
he'll
he'll come
pay.
bring us a check.
And I'll tell you
Well,
why
that's-
he'll
that's
pay,
scary how
because he
much money
signed a
he's making.
contract with KYK already for those machines. He can't
Okay.
get out of that contract.
All right, I'm
90 minutes,
satisfied.
guys,
I'm
90
for it.
minutes.
So,
Okay,
any
Jeff-
more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. E
Good job.
and F, I'm gonna ask council to approve tabling these two because we were not actually ready for E and F, which is basically the addendum to the employee handbook and also the addendum to the mowing contract.
Oh,
Can I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
motion?
I'll motion.
In a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who was the second on that? Because I heard everybody at one time.
Jim,
I gotta get
All right.
vote somewhere.
it was tied, but
Do we have anybody who would like to make a report?
And before y'all do,
Appreciate
You're
you.
gone.
I'll make a report.
Rob late,
I
leave
thought
early.
they had already had him sign a new contract.
No. No, but that's something that we have to talk about before we bring this to January anyway.
Okay.
So, I'll start a little bit of a report. I just want to let
See
you
you
guys
later, Drew.
know that for Breakfast with Santa,
See you, Drew.
we
Merry
collected
Christmas.
$250
Merry
from Ben Collins. I got $250 from Rodney Robichaux. We spent approximately $400. I got $483 from Republic. That money is going to be transferred into the community development account. So we didn't spend all of the money that we actually had donated. So we have leftover money that will be used for another program that Barbara's putting together in February. So cross your fingers. We're going to try to do it all with donations and no city money.
Are those the applicable donors up there?
That's not everybody. That's just who she was able to put on that sign.
oh, that's a cute sign. Who made that?
Margie did.
Oh, it looks so cute. I didn't even notice it.
That's my
Wow.
report.
Very cute.
Stephanie, you have a report?
No, I was in Arizona and sick.
Jeff, you had a report?
Just a couple of things. I've asked if anybody wanted to carry on with New Year's Eve, and in light of little or no response for leadership, we're going to combine our budget for New Year's Eve with the July 4th, so it's our 250th, and we're going to do it up big. I want to do it like we did it year before last, with the water toys and slides, the
250th for Bevel
July
Oaks?
4th.
Oh, for July.
Oh, for the country. I'm like, for Bell Oaks.
Sorry, it's like-
Yeah. So
Okay.
our Independence Day celebration will be more like we did it year before last, with the hot dogs and maybe even a movie night this time, but we won't spend anything for the New Year's Eve.
Can this citizen-led group actually be a vendor so they can collect money for their programs?
I don't care.
Okay. Well,
I mean, that's just what's coming up that's going to be piggybacked in. I want to let everybody know that we're not doing an official New Year's. We'll just conserve those funds and add a portion of them to what we had planned for the July 4th, so there'll be a big savings there. And what were we talking about for February?
It's Kids ID.
Kids ID?
Kids ID, this hasn't been done in a long, long time. Jefferson County Sheriff's Department's gonna come out, Ben Collins is gonna come out, a couple other agencies are gonna come out to actually do kids IDs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that the city's done a long time ago.
Yeah,
Not
I remember
recently.
some of that.
Yeah. So there's gonna be like snacks and pizza and stuff like that, so.
Okay, so I've got, that's all I have on my report. Okay, does anybody else have anything? I've got one more little thing to ask. If everybody's done?
Street signs have been being put up. I think Charlie told me he had to order some more for Yellowstone. So that's been going well, and that's all I have right now.
Okay.
Charlie
Jeff?
did those in a day.
Yeah.
Well, he put them together.
And then he did them in a day.
He's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, to you guys, and then he comes home and, just kidding. Like, I had to do this
What's
and that.
What does that take?
What?
What does that
Okay.
take?
All right, Jeff.
So I wasn't here
So he can
for
paint.
the Breakfast with Santa, but it looked, I saw the pictures that were posted. It looked fabulous. I wish I could have been here. I'm glad that leadership took that and ran with it. I did hear a troubling rumor, and I don't know, I'm going to ask the people in leadership here. I heard a rumor that someone, I don't know if it's on that list or not, but someone canvassed for donations and then pocketed some of the money.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
You've not heard that
I
at
have
all?
not heard that at all. And I'm deeply offended.
Oh, I am too. Whenever somebody,
Because you
My
know what?
recommendation
If-
is that you drive that back down to.
Yeah.
I'm glad. If I'm the only one that's heard about it, then
I
that's
have
all.
not heard
I'm not
anything.
spreading it.
Because
heard
I'll
that.
tell you this much,
Actually,
Jeff,
Charlie hasn't heard anything
if-
either, and he normally
if
does.
anybody accuses any of us of stealing, I will never do another thing for this
I
city.
hear you.
Ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Let me
Because
tell you,
that's
let me tell you what,
offensive.
I challenge you to do this. You heard that from somebody. I would
I
drive
wanna
it back
confront
to
'em.
that somebody to
Yeah.
get to the root of that. If you have to go to 3 or 4 more people,
I will do that.
nothing else, you're either gonna get some fact that's got some meat to it, or you're
being
gonna
set up.
Expose a
somebody
lie.
else's-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I want to do. If nobody else has heard about it, then we're going to.
And I don't ever need to know who did that, but that
Yeah.
is wrong if they're lying.
offensive.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, good. That's good to know.
I got
Shame, shame.
All right, can I have a motion to dismiss?
Motion.
Second.
Dismiss
Oh,
and
come on,
adjourn.
one more.
I know,
What?
'cause I'm a little off
Who
track.
did first?
I did first, Roger second.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, we cut Jim.
Good
and,
job, Heather. You did great.
Jeff
I've
off
got
on
some
that.
papers I gotta get the mayor and Jeff to sign, and then